going to show you today is how to chit your potatoes. Chitting potatoes is a process of where you let your seed potato grow some shoots. Now, not all potatoes need chitting, and it's entirely up to you whether you want to chit them or not. I prefer to chit my potatoes, and I will chit all my potatoes, whether they're first earlies, second earlies, mids or lates. I find that if I chit my potatoes, that it just gives them an extra head start when they go out into the soil. Some people don't bother to chit their new potatoes, their firsts or their seconds. Usually they tend to only chit their mids or their lates. But whichever potatoes you have, whether you want to chit all of yours, you do them in exactly the same way. Now, it's the middle of February now, and now is the perfect time to start chitting your potatoes. You should start chitting them about 4 to 6 weeks before you sow them out in the ground. Now, in the south of the UK, where I live, we can start putting our potatoes out in the ground from about the middle of March. If the weather is really cold, I will tend to leave them for another couple of weeks and just wait for the weather to warm up a bit. You wouldn't want to be in anything really, really cold. You would want to be in something warm, and seed potatoes are exactly the same. If you live slightly further north than the south of the UK, or wherever you live, if your climate is cooler than the south of the UK, then leave it to sort of, I would say, the beginning of April. If you live much further north and it's a lot colder, then I would suggest leaving to sow your potatoes until the middle of April. All your potatoes, whatever varieties they are, whatever types they are, they must be in by the middle of May, otherwise they don't get enough of a growing season. Now, chitting your potatoes is very easy. You don't need anything technical. All you need is either a tray, a box, a cardboard box, or an egg box. Make sure it's a cardboard egg box. And all I've got here, this is the insert of the Christmas Advent calendar that we had this year. It's brilliant. It was a Lego one. It was fabulous. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put one potato in each hole. Now, when you do chit your potatoes, make sure that they can see light. If they can't see light, what you'll end up with are long, spindly shoots. Now, these are no good because when you put them in the soil, they will break off very easily and you will be back to square one. The shoots that you want are short, stumpy shoots. They should be about 1 inch wide and maybe 1.5 inches tall or thereabouts. But they need to be short and stumpy. They are secure, they are solid. And when you plant your seed potato in the soil, finally, they won't break off. Now, it's just get whatever potatoes you want. The ones I've got here are King Edward. I usually grow some form of Sarpo Mira because they tend not to get blight. But because we've recently moved house and the garden is still in the process of being done, I haven't ordered my potatoes, my seed potatoes. So I had to go and to the local garden centre. We've got a very nice local garden centre just up the road. And I bought a pack. They had loads of ones to choose from. So next year I will go back to the Sarpo Miras. Now, this is a seed potato. You need to get seed potatoes. Don't take a potato that has started sprouting in your vegetable drawer. Seed potatoes are guaranteed to be disease-free. It doesn't mean that when your potatoes grow, they won't get any diseases at all. They will, but at least you start off with a disease-free seed potato. They are grown specifically so that they are disease-free. I have grown before a potato because I wanted to experiment to see what would happen. I have taken a potato that has started to shoot in my vegetable tray, and I sowed that to see what would happen, and all I got was either one big potato and lots of tiny little ones, or lots of tiny ones. You don't get a good selection. If you grow a seed potato, a proper seed potato, all your potatoes will be roughly the same size. Okay, so let me show you how I will prepare my potatoes for chitting. Now I have the insert of the advent calendar that we used this Christmas, and all I'm going to do is to get a potato. Now let me just talk to you a little bit more about this seed potato here. You will see that it's already started to shoot. They do. So when you get your seed potatoes, if you notice that they're already starting to shoot, then that's not a problem. These little shoots, don't take them off. They are just going to get bigger and bigger. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one potato in each hole, just like that. Now some of these seed potatoes, they vary in size, but that doesn't matter. Some of them will pop down, some of them are smaller. It doesn't matter which way round you put your potato. If they have started to shoot, then put the shooted bit up. Okay? So I'm just going to fill this in. If you are chitting your potatoes on a tray, you can either use a metal one or you can use a cardboard one. Don't use a plastic one. The reason I say don't use a plastic one is because the potatoes will sweat slightly as they chit, because you're growing them inside and it's warm inside. And they will sweat, and if they're in plastic, then the plastic will keep in the moisture and then will rot the potato. Whereas the cardboard will absorb the plastic and it will get evaporated away. Now also make sure you do these on one layer. Don't pile them up, because the ones at the bottom will start searching for the light and you'll end up with long spindly little shoots where you want short stumpy ones. Now I'm going to have to, I've got 4 left in that bag, so I will put those in an egg box. I've got a lid of an egg box, so I will leave them there. So there are a load of them, and I'll tell you what to do with them next. Now I've got the other 4 and I've put them in an egg box here. Make sure that if you have lots of different varieties, you label them correctly. I've just cut off the label here and I've popped it in there, so I now know that when I sow these outside, these are King Edward. So all I'm going to do with these now, you need to put them where they can see light. If you stick them in a garage or in a shed but a long way away from the light, you will end up getting the long spindly shoots because they're stretching for the light. If you do put them in a shed, make sure you put them right next to the window, so that way the light comes in and they don't have to stretch for the light, and then you'll get the nice short stumpy shoots that you want. You need to make sure you also put them in a frost-free place. If it's still really cold where you are when you get your seed potatoes ready for chitting, I would suggest not storing them in a shed. I would suggest storing them in a conservatory or on a windowsill by the window, which is exactly where I'm going to store mine. In our old place, I used to store them on top of the kitchen cupboards because there was a nice gap between the top of the cupboard and the ceiling, and they would sit in there on their trays beautifully, and they chitted absolutely fabulously. Can't do that here because the gap between the top of the cupboard and the ceiling is about 2 inches, so I can't do that. So I've got lots of windowsills, so I'm going to put these on a windowsill, and all I'm going to do every couple of weeks, all you need to do is to just turn them over so that you get some shoots that come up from the bottom, and that's all you need to do with them. So they will stay on the windowsill for about 6 weeks until I'm ready to sow them outside in the ground, and I will show you that when I come to do it. Well, I hope you found that useful, and I hope you start getting to chit your potatoes very soon. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.